Let me get this timer going.
We're gonna do this. So you got
Yeah.
60 seconds only. You better get everything in there, Joe.
60 seconds like Nicolas Cage. I'm gonna be gone.
Gone in 60 seconds. Are you ready? I'm
I'm
gonna count you
gone
down.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so Resident Evil 8 The Village takes off where we left off in Resident Evil 7, basically. Actually, 3 years after. Evan Winters, or Ethan Winters, sorry, Ethan Winters. See, I'm telling you, I'm going to mess this up. Ethan Winters. By the way, fun fact, I looked this up. He is the first character in Resident Evil history to get back-to-back games as the main protagonist. Hello everyone and welcome to yet another edition of Game Wild. Doza, what is up with you this week? How is everything going?
Oh, I mean, you know what's up with me. I've been busy as hell this week, but dude,
I know.
It's fun lately. Apparently, as I told you, more people are listening to the podcast. So anybody who's
thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Joe appreciates it. So good stuff, and I'm glad we're able to bring you guys some knowledge week in, week out for the gaming industry. So, and Joe's got a surprise this week. Ruffhouse has got a little bit of a surprise this week.
I do. It's a new segment. We will talk about that later. But in the meantime, all you new listeners, if you haven't already, as much as we appreciate you, we also appreciate 5-star reviews, liking us on that fun TV place. What do they call it? YouTube.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button and subscribe. Subscribe. Ring that bell so you know when we're around. Do it. I'm gonna wait for you. I'm gonna wait for you to do it. Hold on. Okay, someone did it. Maybe. Anyways. So yeah. So thank you very much. And yes, we have a new segment this week, and it is hopefully going to be funny. And probably not that informative.
Joe, we don't hope around here. We know it's going to be funny. All right? We know it's going to be entertaining. We know. Let's be honest.
It's true. I did create the segment off the top of my head. So
that's the best time. That's
possible.
The best way.
That's the best way. And you know what? I don't know about you guys, but I get a lot of good ideas in the shower. But this one was not a shower idea. Not a shower idea.
Really, it wasn't. I will say, shower ideas are the best ideas. Just letting the water run on your head. Just
contemplating your life, and then you just decide, and you're like, you know what? I got a great segment for our podcast. I'm going to put that other stuff off just one more day. One more day. So, with that being said, for all you new listeners, we usually start off with the question of the week. So, why don't we get into it? SJW's been handling the question of the week lately. So this week, what was your most memorable game event announcement? Oof.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. That's a good one.
I originally had it as E3 announcement, but couldn't really pinpoint exactly which E3 certain things were announced.
Dude, so what E3 is it anymore? What is E3 anymore? So God.
Well, I wanted to bring that up because we have one of the news things we're going to go over later is E3. So that's why I was thinking E3, but
Yeah. God, I don't know. I get pumped for a lot of things. The fact that I can't remember anything that really pops out to me is obviously disappointing. But I think quite frankly, the things that get me going are console announcements.
Yeah.
I think console announcements are pretty great. And Mortal Kombat, franchises that I love, any any regular franchise, new franchises have never really gotten me going crazy. Do you know what I mean? It's oh, that's interesting or that's cool, but it doesn't doesn't give you goosebumps. I very rarely, if at all, has ever a new game coming out ever been oh my god. There have been.
You have a rapport built up with the older games. You have memories.
But yeah, exactly. You have a connection emotionally, and I think that's what brings it down. So I'm gonna go kind of broad here and just say, obviously system announcements are memorable, and Spider-Man game announcements, stuff like that have always been give me goosebumps and raise my hair on my arms, that type of thing. So I can't pinpoint something specific. I'm sure you can, but I'm going to be a little broad.
Well, see, this is where because I thought of the question, and then I was like, so my instant thought was, okay, I'm sure I probably was like souped for the Final Fantasy X announcement back in the day, right? But then I Googled a couple things real quick, and I was like, wait a second, I don't think they announced that at E3, or if they did, that was back in 2000 that would have happened. I was only 10 years old. I probably wasn't watching that, right? So what I really remember from Final Fantasy X is just playing the game for the first time, and that was like a big moment in my life. So that doesn't count for this because I didn't see the announcement. So then I got to thinking, and that's why I changed it from E3 to just general events. Then I got to thinking, okay, so now if I think to an actual reveal or like something like that, and I got to go with when they announced in 2015, and this was back when gaming events and announcements were still pretty big before they started kind of declining a little bit. The Final Fantasy VII Remake announcement, the very first one.
I figured that's what you were going to go with.
Yeah, and like you said, I got like goosebumps when I saw that because I have this history with Final Fantasy. Like Final Fantasy X is what made me fall in love with video games when I first played it. I had played 7, I had played 8, I had played 9, and then I just was really enveloped in Final Fantasy. Seeing Final Fantasy VII Remake was like, and then you hear the crowd too, because that's back when they had a crowd in there, and they bring up the logo on the screen and everybody's like, oh my god, this is amazing, and like so you feel all that energy from the room, and it just adds on to that hype. So that's the one, and I'm sticking to it.
Do you feel, was that like your first turn-based RPG, Final Fantasy VII, or do you think you played something prior to that?
I played something prior to that.
I am trying to remember like what my first one was, and I have some very like vague memories, believe it or not, of playing Phantasy Star 4 on the Sega Genesis. It was my cousins. It was my cousins, and really not understanding how the hell to play it, like not like figuring out like what the spells mean and all that stuff, like the mana, the MP, or whatever it was at the time. But like that one sticks out to me. That one sticks out in my mind. And not being able to see enemies, like just walking around, and then all of a sudden
they just pop.
You just get jumped. Yeah. You get into a battle. You know, like being like a little kid and playing that, and not really understanding what you're playing, just because like it was your cousin's game and you were bored, so you just played it.
I think for some reason 2 games are coming to mind for the first games I ever played that were turn-based. Or I guess actually 3 games, and I have no idea which one was first. Chrono Cross, Wild Arms, and Legend of Dragoon, which actually Legend of Dragoon is rumored to be like...
oh my god, you're all PlayStation. Those are all PlayStation.
That was all... I mean, dude, those were...
I know.
Those were the shit back then. PlayStation owned RPGs back then. It was so good. But we could that could be a whole podcast episode on like old school PlayStation, like that case behind me. If you guys are watching the video, a lot of those in there are PS2 and PlayStation games. Like I have the original Wild Arms in that case, and Wild Arms 2, and Chrono Cross over there, and Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and 9. Like, it's crazy. But dude, I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
All right, we can get into it. We can get into it.
I have Buffalo Wild Wings coming right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh, now.
We are lazy bastards and actually ordered it.
Actually, I made chicken thighs. I made chicken thighs on the grill with a potato hash and broccoli, steamed broccoli.
Ooh, that sounds good. Man, you and the grill, man. Good. You're all about the grill.
The grill is the greatest. The grill.
You're gonna get one of those shirts that's like Grill Life on it or something like that. All right.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so this week you have chosen. Justin has chosen the OLW. Dill in. I'm not even gonna announce
Grass look, or gross look. Something. You guys can read that, right?
Yeah, I guess.
GRA with 2 dots over it. I forget what those are called. SLO with 2 dots over it. K. What are the 2 dots over a letter called?
So it looks like chives and dill.
Wow, that is really hard to pronounce. Oh, diuresis. That sounds like diuresis.
I might get diuresis from eating these. Who knows? So
what is this?
We might be.
Am I pronouncing that right?
I hope not.
All right. It also says umlau. Umlau. Is that called an umlau?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a grammar person.
It's wow. All right, there's a lot of weird words that are getting thrown at my face right now.
But either way, this was made by the OLW, which
OLW. I looked up.
Oh, what is it? Is it the Online World Potato Chip League?
Oh no, I have no idea what OLW means, but the website says OLW, life with a pinch of salt. OLW is a Swedish. This is Sweden chip. Pride from the heart of Varmland that for over 50 years has stood for the glorious in life. We at OLW believe that life will be so much better if it is sometimes taken with a pinch of salt. Interesting. I like that slogan. That's
so this looks like Dill and Chive. If I have to, just by looking at the box, at the package.
It smells like that too.
To the box. Oh, I haven't opened it yet. Okay, I didn't know you did that already.
It smells. Yeah, it smells like Dill and Chive. Maybe that's what the grass look is. Yeah. And it,
no, because it's actually grass, not.
Yeah. Oh, it is a grass, right? Isn't it?
No, it's an onion.
That's right. Chives are onions. Yeah, but it's onion and grass.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. Anyways.
All right.
We might go get donuts tomorrow, and so.
They make a lot of other. They make cheese doodles. They make some chocolate-covered salty things. They make what are those chips that you can put on your fingers? What are they called again?
Bugles.
Bugles. They make chocolate-covered bugles. It looks like.
Nice. Just cool. So you know, bugles. I don't necessarily know are considered a chip, but I knew what he was talking about.
Are they not a chip, really?
Well, think about it. They're not. This is a chip. Anything that is not shaped like this is not considered a chip to my knowledge. That's like saying
I can get online with
Cheetos.
That. Yeah.
That's like saying Cheetos is a chip. Cheetos is not a chip.
Okay, yeah, Cheetos is a snack. Okay, yeah, I can get online with that. Okay, all right. I'm on board.
All right, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Go.
Oh, wow. This is a very different taste. I don't think I've never had a chip flavored like this. Have you?
No. Have you ever had a dill flavored chip?
Well, it's not even. Wait. What is dill? Wait, dill is like a pickle too, right? Is that where it comes from?
No, dill is a type of weed / like.
Yeah.
It's like a herb.
Wait, then what's the difference between dill weed and dill pickle?
So a dill pickle has dill fermented in it in the liquid brine.
Oh.
So there's dill in the brine.
So it's dill related. Okay, so this is so no, I've definitely never had this flavor of outside of a dill pickle. I don't think I usually have dill weed in many things that I've eaten.
But it doesn't taste like a dill pickle. Let's get that straight right now.
No, it doesn't.
It tastes like dill with a hint of an onion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's not strong.
No, the dill is a little strong. The onion is subtle. But I think that works.
The dill is strong, yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, what I'll say is, it has a very distinct taste. Mainly because I've never had this before. Which is nice. Like, we order these snack boxes to get stuff from other countries. And it's cool. Like, I would have never otherwise, if ever in my life, tried these chips. And if I'm gonna have junk food nowadays, I'd rather try junk food that I've never freaking had before. Instead of having my 5,761st Snickers bar. Not for nothing, Snickers is a shit, by the way. But, So, I don't know, though. My problem with this is that it doesn't pop. It doesn't, like it's, sure, I'll eat it. But, like if I see Cheetos on a shelf, I'm like, hell yeah, give me some Cheetos. Or if I
don't think it's your first grab.
No,
this is definitely not your first grab. No,
this is just like a blah. It's like a blah.
This is a 6. This is 6.
I was gonna go with 5.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We don't always have to agree.
No, I know, and
but I go with a 6, and I think it's just mainly because it doesn't taste horrible, but it's not going to be your first choice. It's edible. It's not your first choice. It definitely leaves a residue. So, You know, I don't know if there ever will be a chip that doesn't, but
yeah, but not for nothing. This residue on my fingers is very greasy. It's more greasy than a regular chip. Like usually, I would expect salt or powder. This is more greasy.
Yep, with the like the hint of the herbs.
Yeah, it's interesting. It looks like this is high in fat if I'm reading it correctly on the back there, but honestly, I have no idea. Oh,
yeah,
fat.
because it's all in Swedish.
FETT must be fat, right? It's fat. It looks like 13. Oh my god, there's 33 grams of fat in this one bag.
Wow.
That's a lot for chips even.
Yeah,
that's a lot for chips. Even like Lay's wouldn't have that much fat. So yeah, I think this is very oily for some reason. Interesting. All right, well, now that I got a little bit of food in my tummy, I'm ready to talk.
If he wasn't already, he's ready.
I'm always ready to talk. You know that.
Absolutely. And the dogs are too.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Sorry about that, everybody.
He's just trying to show that he's a real person and has real things.
That's our Buffalo Wild Wings that just showed up.
Nice.
It's our guard dog, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't get things delivered to my house except for like Prime and stuff, but like I don't get fast food and stuff delivered to my house.
It's such a waste of money. I'm so
Grubhub and stuff doesn't really do anything of mine, but that's a plate for another time. So you want to talk some Final Fantasy?
Well, yeah, just quickly, I wanted to get your take on it. So for anybody who hasn't been up on the Final Fantasy goings-ons right now, I don't know why I said it like that. We have two big things. So we got Intergrade, Remake Intergrade coming out, which is going to come out soon, I think in like the next month or so. And that has basically, whatchamacallit, Yuffie, yeah. And
I call it Yuffie, maybe you're right, I don't know.
I've always said Yuffie. But they also just released a trailer, which is bomb, by the way, that shows Ramuh's summon. So if you guys remember Ramuh, it's basically Quetzalcoatl was in Final Fantasy VIII as like the thunder god, which is actually an Aztec like thunder god in real life. Anyways, it shows Ramuh's summon, which is the thunder summon for like Final Fantasy VII. It shows Fort Condor, which was actually a town in Final Fantasy VII, which I imagine it will be in this too, but it's also a mini game in this. So they actually added another mini game, and mini games are always big, as you know, in RPGs like Gwent, the card game in Witcher, right? So a return from Dirge, which is another character, and so much more. So there's a lot in this trailer. Check it out, super cool. My biggest discussion, though, because they also said that there's going to be a beta that starts at the beginning of June for the First Soldier, which is their Battle Royale, Final Fantasy Battle Royale on mobile, like Fortnite, essentially. And it's super interesting to me. This is what I wanted your take on. Like, yeah, sure, Intergrade's going to be great. I get it. It's the next step in their remake. I'm sure it'll be awesome. It's not so much the game I'm worried about. It's what I wanted to discuss was what's your take on what they're doing with the series right now? Because
with the way that they're changing everything.
Well, it just seems like look at they're doing so many different things around just the Final Fantasy VII universe right now, to the point where they're even making a battle royale game around Final Fantasy VII. Basically what I'm getting at is you see this with Riot. So League of Legends, Legends of Runeterra, League of Legends universe is about to explode, okay? So I think we mentioned this last episode, actually, where, I don't know if you know this, but September on Netflix, there's going to be a League of Legends anime. And it is legit based on the characters from the game, and it is so hype. Like, there are so many people that are super excited for this game, or for the show.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is building out that universe. They're taking all 200 champions or whatever from the game. They can each have their own individual story.
Sure.
So now I'm seeing Square-Enix do this with Final Fantasy VII, and they've always had this IP. They've had these characters here forever, and now it's like they're catching on. They're like, all right, let's take this IP that we've had since the beginning of time. Let's start from scratch, and let's just blow up this universe into this whole big thing. So what do you think about that? Do you think that's the right track, and what do you think they're going to do with it in the future, like moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, when you have something hot, you keep it going, right? I mean, I think you're building some high level of nostalgia I would think they would be better suited to do some crossover stuff, and they might even, like, you're talking about a battle royale. I think if you're going to throw a battle royale in there, you have to have all the Final Fantasy characters across the board that have been famous. You know, you can't just have the people from 7. I think you want to throw everyone out there. If I'm being honest with you, I think that's the way. But they probably will, because, like, all right, battle royales typically are free, and then you pay for other things, right? That's how they make their money in a lot of the battle royales, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe that's what they'll do. They'll release a bunch of Final Fantasy VII characters as base players, and then as time goes on, they'll release characters from other series of Final Fantasy that you can pay for. You know, you could be Titus, you can be, Yuna, you can be all of those people, but you have to pay to get them.
You know, I just watched an old trailer for Final Fantasy X, and they pronounced it Titus.
Really? Okay, maybe it is Titus.
That aggravated me a lot.
Titus.
Titus is way cooler of a name. Titus sounds terrible. Yeah,
because you have the same thing happening with Resident Evil too, the RE-verse.
Yeah.
So, like,
they're blowing up that universe. Yeah,
exactly. Same. So, I mean, it's really just people getting into the battle royale, like, thing, and people have been clamoring for the Final Fantasy VII remake probably since Final Fantasy VII was done.
Yeah.
So, like, once PlayStation 2 came out, where's the new one? Where's the new one? Yeah. So, like, PlayStation 2 came out, it's like, we could really do some things if you bring Final Fantasy VII back. And it took literally 5 iterations almost of the PlayStation
until they got
to get there. Yeah, until they get a new one, 4 technically, but yeah. So yeah, I think it's the right move, because you're getting the people what they want, I guess. You know, like, I mean, that's what the people wanted. They wanted a Final Fantasy VII remake. They got it. Granted, they're getting it in chunks, but, you know, that's their game plan, and it seems to be working. People are eating it up and still want it. And then this battle royale stuff, sure. Let's see where it goes, and let's see if you can make more money by dropping other Final Fantasy characters into the mix for a nominal fee.
Well, yeah, and that's for Soldier. That's the battle royale. There's also Ever Crisis that they announced as well, which is something that it just, like, combines it's a single player title that combines the entire Final Fantasy VII story into, like, a chapter based adventure. I don't really know what they're gonna do with that, but I like where your head's at, because I was thinking they're just gonna blow up the Final Fantasy VII universe, and maybe actually, like, once the remake is done, actually start making more games for Final Fantasy VII based around Cloud and Tifa and Aerith and Sephiroth, and actually build out that universe. But they could actually do that. They could actually include all of the Final Fantasies and make it, I don't know, just do something even bigger with it. I feel like that would take a lot of work, but...
Well, also, it's an iOS and Android game, so it's not for consoles.
It's not a console, yep.
It doesn't look like you can be any of the characters from those series, from the looks of it. So
no, it's using the lore from Final Fantasy VII about a first-class soldier, like that whole thing with Shinra, and then you just you're like a soldier, right?
All right.
They might have a special skin that they sell at some point, where, like, you can be Cloud, you know. But
maybe that. Okay, so all right, then that. I thought that was. Well, yeah, I think that that's something they can do. Like, I just am looking right now, watching the trailer real quick, and seeing what some people are doing, and it's pretty cool. You can summon, you can do a bunch of different things. So yeah, no, I think that's the I mean, it's not crazy for them to get into the battle royale, and obviously Final Fantasy is using the lore. I thought they were using more of the actual characters, and maybe there will be some characters in it that maybe aren't playable, but, you know, could be special, like, events and stuff like that. You know how they have events.
Yep.
So something like that, maybe.
And Fortnite for Final Fantasy VII. What is this world coming to? This is it's interesting, to say the least. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to bring that up quick because I'm very curious. You know, maybe 3 years from now, where's the Final Fantasy VII universe? And I'm almost as excited for that as I am for Riot Games' League of Legends universe. Where are they going to take all of the stories of all the champions for that? So I like where game developers seem to be heading here, with building out their worlds and building out their universes, and really taking time to focus on the story and the characters, rather than let's just make the next best super good graphics, super awesome combat game, right? So good stuff. But in the news, okay, we got actually some pretty redonkulous news stuff that I scrounged up here, Joe. You'll like the last two that we go over that I have on this list. This is definitely interesting. But this one, I don't think we're surprised. And that is Blizzard's player base decreasing recently. Are you surprised, Ruffhouse?
No, I'm not. I'm not surprised. I mean, let's just say this. I didn't even Now, listen. I am usually a pretty big proponent of World of Warcraft's expansions. Yeah. This was the first expansion I stopped playing, and I didn't get max level. Like, my character's still not max level. Every expansion I ever played for World of Warcraft, I probably max leveled 2 or 3 characters. And this time, I didn't even max level 1. As a matter of fact, I think I got halfway.
Really?
And I just stopped. I didn't pay for it. I don't pay for it right now.
Yep.
So it's not like I'm burning money. I bought like a 2-month subscription when it came out. Figured that would be enough time. It wasn't, and it didn't draw me.
Well, wait,
I was drawn back into it.
What's your max level on Classic right now?
Oh, I mean, I haven't played Classic yet, but they're just releasing
I thought you played
Classic.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I never max leveled anyone in Classic.
Oh, okay, that's just it. Yeah, I didn't max anybody. I mean, I've never really been huge into WoW, but
but like, so I think right now the max level is like 80 or 90 in the regular game again, because they brought everyone back. It used to be like before the last one, I think it was like 120, and then they brought the level cap down to like 90 or something. So I think I got to like a level 85 or something.
So here, just for the listeners here, so they understand where they're at. Monthly active users is a very big number for gaming nowadays. That's what they're going off of. So in Q1 of 2018, Blizzard as a whole. So this is all
3 years ago.
This is all the games too. This is Overwatch. This is Diablo,
Hearthstone.
StarCraft, Hearthstone, all that shit. So 38 million monthly active users in Q1 of 2018. Q2,
over 38 million.
Yeah, it's over.
I wouldn't go through that, but let's say they capped at. Let's go like this. They capped at 38 million in one quarter in 2018, jumping to 2019. Okay,
32.
They dropped to 32 million. Okay.
They went up in 2019. 2019, they kind of stayed plateaued. They actually went up to 33 in the middle of 2019.
Right.
That's the only month they went.
And now let's talk about this for a second. 2020, a year in which gaming
blew up.
Back off.
Yeah.
They dropped to a low of 29 million players.
And now they're at.
Okay. And now they're at 27 million.
And
so they lost over 10
it's like a third
million players.
Yep.
In 3 years, over a 3-year span.
Yep.
10 million players.
And okay, you nailed it. You're like, in a year that video games like killed it, Blizzard sucked hard. Like that is, that's bad.
And the worst part, and you have to look at it like this, right? If they broke it down by the games, like where their active players were, if those active players, if the majority of the loss was WoW players, that's even bigger because people don't pay to play Diablo. People don't pay to play Overwatch.
Yeah, they just buy it once.
They don't play. They don't pay to play StarCraft unless they buy side stuff, right? But like, WoW, you're paying a maximum of $15 a month if you're paying monthly on it. So if you're not paying that, take that, times it by 10 million, and you've got the number of a loss right there, like money that they've lost. And so I'm sure that the 27 from 38, the 11 million isn't all World of Warcraft, but I bet you it's a good chunk.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you it's a couple million, at least.
Yeah,
and that's a huge loss financially for them.
Yeah, and so granted, I will say I don't think it's a lot of World of Warcraft. They might have lost some, but they have pushed World of Warcraft more lately with like Classic and stuff like that, and then the new expansion. Overwatch basically died. Like they had the Overwatch League, which people bought into for ridiculous millions of dollars, and that tanked. You know, you have Diablo's probably fallen off because it's been a little while since it came out. StarCraft is, you know, you get this dedicated core group of competitive people that play it.
That's it.
But so I watched, you know, G4 Tech TV. I've been watching a lot more on YouTube and stuff now that they're kind of relaunching. And Frost Guerin, who used to be a League of Legends announcer, now she does kind of some of the news announcements for G4. She did this news announcement, and even she was like, "This is a perfect example. This company just like takes the same game and re-releases shit over and over again." And even this article says Blizzard hasn't released a full game in 5 years. They are like one of the biggest gaming companies on the planet, and they haven't even released a full game in 5 years. Like, okay, we get it. You're doubling down on your development of your current games, and you're doing whatever you're saying you're doing for that stuff.
You're just remastering old games and putting them back out.
Like, dude, and Diablo 4, which is not for nothing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna buy, as much as I hate Blizzard for the most part lately, I'm gonna buy Diablo 4. It's a bomb game.
But if it ever comes out.
But yeah, Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 are still not supposed to come out until 2022. So that's a whole other year until we even probably get those games. And I'm sure they'll get a spike in but like, they screwed up Diablo 3. Diablo 3 was great. Don't get me wrong. I love that game. Why that was not a continuing game to receive like more like, they support it with patch updates, but like, why do you play that game anymore? There's no reason to play that game unless you just like really like playing Diablo. There's no PvP. There's no reason, there's no competitive level to that game. You could easily make Diablo 4 a game that people want to play consistently, PvP, and like getting characters with loot or like just something to make that game more interesting. They need to do that with Diablo 4. I'm going to be really pissed if they don't.
I think they're going to do something special with Diablo 4. I'm going to be positive.
I think so too. But just, I don't know, man. And then just, you know, we've talked before about how they just charge, like Hearthstone versus Legends of Runeterra. I could go on for days about that. Hearthstone's a ripoff. Legends of Runeterra, you can spend almost no money and play that game for free. It's actually free to play. I hate people nowadays that advertise free to play games where you have to pay if you actually want to play competitively. That's not free to play. That's a marketing ploy. Like, come on. So, I don't know, man. I wanted to bring this up because you get what you deserve, honestly, is the way that I see this. Your player base is declining because you suck lately. I'm just gonna say it. So that's my 2 cents, and I'm sticking to it. But how about E3, Joe? Do we think, is this going to be big? Does anybody care about E3 anymore? Do we care about this?
I mean, I guess not. You know, I think it's one of those things where it's digital this year, and it's kind of smashed itself down because of everything that happened last year.
Mm-hmm.
In it not going digital, like a lot of companies did, like especially in the year of the console, right? 2020 was a console year, and you know, they relied on Microsoft and Sony to do their own stuff. Granted, Sony was still kind of doing their own stuff anyways, and wasn't going to be a part of 2020's E3, so it's not like that was going to be anything new. But like, they lost Microsoft. I don't see Microsoft on the list.
No, Microsoft I think announced it previously. So Microsoft is there. Yeah, so like I actually I pulled up the E3 website just to double check exactly for that reason. So I think it was actually announced a couple weeks ago that Nintendo and Microsoft both were going to show up. So they finally agreed to show up. Sony has still not announced that they're going to show up. I think at this point they kind of have to be honest with you.
No, I don't think they do.
I mean, okay, no, they don't have to especially because it's digital. So for those of you who don't know, E3 is set for Jesus, when the heck's the date? This is supposed to be on June 12th through the 15th. So no, not for Jesus. June 12th through the 15th. So it's coming up soon. It's 100% digital because there's still COVID-19 concerns. Basically, the article that we're referring to is that they've confirmed more companies that are joining. Those companies are Square-Enix, which is huge, Bandai Namco, huge, Gearbox, huge, Verizon Freedom Games, I don't even get them out of there.
Mobile.
Get them out of there. Devious Eye Entertainment, Turtle Beach, which is there. I mean, they're a pretty good headset maker.
Headset.
Verizon again, dude. I don't even want. I'm sorry.
Verizon,
get out of here.
Verizon's,
dude. Like, what are you doing?
the one that they're obviously going to be the ones hosting the event.
Oh, probably. They probably are the ones who fronted the 5G.
Most money. They're like, we got 5G. We're digitally streaming. We're digitally streaming on 5G. Everybody, let's do it.
They're the ones hooking up the internet
World's
connection.
Greatest network. Blah blah blah.
Like, I'm sorry. I don't see Verizon with gaming ever. Like, don't
I'm
get
sorry.
out there. Binge and Xseed Games. If I go to the E3 website, we have, as partnering exhibitors and sponsors, we have Nintendo, Xbox, Ubisoft, Square Enix. Those 4 are at the top. Those are big. We have Verizon, T2, Capcom, huge. Warner Brothers, huge. Sega, which is interesting. I am glad that Sega got involved. Hopefully we get a surprise and they're like, hey, we got a system coming out. That'd be cool.
They're going to be like, hey, Sonic 2, the movie.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Bandai Namco, Gearbox Entertainment, which I just mentioned, Marvelous Xseed Games, Mythical Freedom Games, NetEase Games, Turtle Beach, Otterbox. We all know how me and you love Otterbox. Devious Eye Entertainment and Binge, and then media partners are IGN, makes sense, PC Gamer, Games Radar Plus, G, which I don't know if that's GameSpot. I think that's GameSpot. Polygon, IGN China, and Game Bonfire, which looks like an Asian partner as well. So,
well, I'm surprised Twitch isn't on that list.
I'm not. Twitch sucks. Twitch
yeah, but they love that. They love the chat features so much that you figured they would love to have people chatting about the new games coming out, especially if they're in pools or hot tubs.
Actually, speaking of that. I didn't actually put. Yeah, I know. Yeah, now you already regret mentioning hot tubs.
No, I'm gonna watch again. I'm gonna see who's on.
Sweet. That's how you're gonna spend your Saturday night, Joe.
Checking out some more cellulite on somebody's backside while they're trying to get in the pool. That was what happened with the last girl. Well, you can't see it, but we listened to last week when I went on. I was shocked by this girl. I was like, I mean, she was pretty, but she turned around and there it was. And I'm like, oh.
Right there, you can't do anything. Well, I guess you could click off, but it just shows right.
I did, but that just was like, that was the surprise of the day.
So Twitch also, by the way, this wasn't something I had put like as an article for us to talk about, but they had that like fireside chat, whatever you want to call it, with that guy that basically just like got thrown under a bus. I feel bad for that guy, by the way. I think it was DJ something, and basically having to answer questions that nobody at Twitch wants to answer because they don't have an answer because they suck. And they wanted to do these chats, and they even told the community, they're like, ask us whatever you want, we can take it, we can take the hard questions, we got this. So all the hard questions were asked, right? They basically dodged, duck dived, and weaved to avoid those questions. And then they tweeted, and they basically were like, and this is not word for word, but they basically were like, hey, we got your feedback from this last chat, we're postponing the next one while we revamp it a little bit. So they're like, hey, we're cool, we can do this, we can take the hard questions. They got all the hard questions, and then now they're already postponing the next one. Like, what the fuck, man? These people, like, and you know what's funny too? I was watching somebody else's stream. There's girls that are like dancing in skimpy outfits.
Yeah. That
are getting banned, but the hot tub streamers are not getting banned.
Right now, I only have.
What do we got?
Looking at one hot tub streamer so far.
Only one. Okay.
There are girls at a poolside, and there's one in a poolside. There's one hot tub, and the rest are on couches or on the gaming chairs.
Are they half naked or no?
Well, pretty close.
I don't mind. I don't mind. Listen, I told you this before too. I don't mind a girl wearing a low cut, whatever, or even being half naked talking in a chair. Like, if that's how you want to dress, go for it. As long as it's not, pornography. But
as long as it doesn't break the
TOS. Yeah. But like, man, it's just out of hand. So I just, Twitch, get your shit together. They can't even answer basic questions, and then their answers don't even.
It's because they don't want to. It's because they don't want to.
Because they
don't
just
want to seem like they do it, but they don't want to.
They don't care. All right, E3, all right. Twitch.
Just
what do we got next? What do we got next?
PlayStation and Steam. Some issues about what is it? Store exclusivity.
Yeah. You want to guess where this came from?
Epic.
Yup. Epic's making waves, baby. Holy shit. Epic is dude.
Epic.
yeah, right? Pun intended. Dude, this lawsuit that Epic started is actually going to, I think, seriously impact the gaming space.
Yeah, I think it is too.
So for those of you who haven't listened to, I think we've probably mentioned this on maybe 3 or so episodes prior to this over the last, I don't know, when did this start? Maybe 6 months ago is when Epic first brought this
up. Been a while.
Now the lawsuit's actually happening, by the way. I think it started at the beginning of this week.
Right, it's in court, right.
Basically, Epic's taking Apple to court saying, Apple, you have a monopoly on your store. You're charging people obscene amounts of money to basically use the Apple store to put their games on. So, like, people can't pay for in-game purchases for your game on the Apple store unless it's through Apple, and they take a really high percentage is essentially what's happening, which I agree with. Everybody generally agrees with. Apple's obviously fighting it because they're Apple and they can freaking do that. But now because of that, there's 2 articles that I found. First, Valve owns Steam, if you didn't know that, is being sued over their Steam monopoly now. Now, it's interesting to note, this is a class action lawsuit, so this could go absolutely nowhere, by the way. But basically people are saying that Steam is abusing its market share because everybody feels like they need to put their shit on Steam. And Steam actually charges 30%, which I was unaware of. That's right in line with like Apple, right? I think Apple was up there, right? Was it 40 for Apple? Or was it
no, I think 30? Apple was high. I want to see Apple was around 32, but maybe it was 40.
It maybe, I don't know.
I could have put it at 30, but either way, 40 it's a lot.
Still high, yeah. So, but listen, I agree with that too. I agree. So, like, okay, if you're gonna bring this over to Apple, sure, Steam, lower your prices a little bit. And actually, this mentions too, there's other platforms in here that are trying to do like charitable things too with their storefronts. And people are scared to go on those platforms because they feel like Steam will retaliate and like charge them more or something like that. It's like, oh, well, if you're not going to go with us, you're going to go with them. Then like, F you, we're not going to partner with you anymore, right? So, and that's basically like the definition of a monopoly. Well, not the definition, but you know, that's how it heads towards a monopoly. So, so like I agree, and not for nothing. I mean, Steam is kind of the go-to. Like when you want to buy a PC game, Ruffhouse, like you're going to Steam, right? Like,
no,
I mean,
and there's reasons for it too. Like
they're just
Epic
good,
Games had a good. Epic has a lot of cool free games, but one thing you can't do with Epic right now is you can't play it on another system. So like for example, like on Steam, I can get on my iPad or I can get on another PC, and as long as my main PC's up, I can play a game and basically stream off of that game on my iPad, iPhone, or a laptop. It's using my PC to play it.
Yeah.
It's just streaming it onto it so I can play it on those devices.
Yep.
And Epic doesn't have that. I was kind of bummed because like Hand of Fate 2 was free a couple of weeks ago and I got it, and it's a fun game. I like to play it, but I'm not always upstairs, so I want to play it. I can't because I can't link it to my iPad or my laptop to play it. So so I have to download it on that system. I have to download it on my laptop to play it and use more space where I wouldn't have to because I could have it in one place and just stream it.
Well, yeah, and I think like that's a perfect example of like Steam is good at the end of the day. Like more people use Steam because Steam's fucking awesome. Like Valve's been around forever. Steam is the PC go-to for like buying stuff. So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, there should still be like a cap, I think, and I think you agree with this too, on like charging obscene amounts of money. Like people can't at retail stores. Like a Walmart can't charge like $1 million for a television just because it feels like it. Like that's not.
Well, I'll go into a perfect example: sports cards right now. Right, you can go to Target and Walmart if you're lucky, and you can get a box of cards for like $20. Those cards are going for like $80, $90, $100 online.
Walmart
and
can't get those. Like that.
Yeah, and Walmart can't sell them like that. You know, that's like, and you can go to a card shop and you're probably going to get that higher price at the card shop as well, but they're independently owned that buy directly from the company. So
stuff, yeah.
But it's tough.
So that's Valve. So I agree with that one too. Sony, so it's interesting. Sony, I do agree with to an extent as well. But like it's now I think people are starting to reach for like anything they can grab at in this industry to like complain about because Epic's on Apple's ass. So basically what they're saying about Sony, and this is another class action lawsuit. Sony's monopoly quote allows it to charge supra competitive? Did they actually mean to put that there? SUPRA? That's weird. Supra competitive prices for digital PlayStation games. Digital. Which are significantly higher than their physical counterparts sold in a competitive real market. Which I read that to mean an older game that's a digital version. Like, let's say Final Fantasy VIII, right, on PlayStation. If I were to go buy that disc version on eBay, I could probably get it for like $10. And maybe they're charging $20 for it in the PlayStation store. Like, that's what I read that as. Because, like, digital, for a brand new game, the digital is just the same as the hard copy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's got to be like older games they're probably talking about. And then it says, and significantly higher than they would be in a competitive retail market for digital games. So basically, I guess, you cannot, at Walmart and stuff like that, you cannot sell digital codes for Sony's store. You can only buy those on Sony's store. Which I actually never really thought of that, to be honest with you.
I didn't think about that either.
I just kind of assumed that you should just buy it at the Sony store or buy it at the Xbox store and just download the game from there. I didn't. But you can buy like codes for like Riot for League of Legends to like put money into the game and stuff. So it's the same idea. So yeah, is that probably right? Like they should probably allow Walmart and stuff to sell codes too. Yeah, but like now we're just absolutely going after everything. So sure, lump this in there, I guess. It's a class action, so again, they don't think it's going to go too far. But, yeah, it's crazy, though. This stuff was not popping up. And now I think in the next couple of years, people are finally, this alongside copyright and then everything going on with Twitch, because everybody constantly is, like, communicating with each other, it's going to be a shit ton of stuff that changes as far as, like, how we communicate and how we sell things and capitalism and stuff like that. So, just super interesting. Everybody's suing everybody over video games. So.
Yeah. All right, everyone. It's time. It's time. Time for the new segment of Game Wild. Now, this is a segment that will not happen often, but it will happen from time to time. So let's put down the preference of what this segment is, everybody. This segment is Ruffhouse Rushed Reviews. What does that mean, everybody? That means I'm going to review a game that I have not finished yet, and I am going to rush through my synopsis of what I've played so far in 60 seconds.
Okay, I'm
going to give myself 60 seconds. I want you to do some magic. I want you to do some magic on the screen and put 60 seconds on the clock and count it down. Hopefully you have that production value in your midst. So
I can do that.
Let me preface and make sure that everyone understands what's about to happen. Today on Ruffhouse Rush Reviews, we are reviewing Resident Evil 8: The Village. I have played 3 to 4 hours of this game. So I am giving this review based off of 3 to 4 hours worth of gameplay. It just came out on Friday. We are recording on Saturday. So you'll have plenty of other reviews out there that you can read. But if you want some entertainment and you want me to run through it because I am going to butcher this.
No, I like it. Let's hear it. I like this too. I'm going to put this on my... This is like those sweet minute clips you can put on Twitter.
So we are going to do 60 seconds. Make sure you put a clock on the screen. I am going to put a timer on as well.
I'll count you down. All right.
Hold on. Let me get this timer going.
We're gonna do this. So you got 60 seconds only. You better get everything in there, Joe.
60 seconds, like Nicolas Cage. I'm gonna be gone.
Gone in 60 seconds. Are you ready? I'm gonna count you down.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so Resident Evil 8, The Village, takes off where we left off in Resident Evil 7, basically. Actually, 3 years after. Ethan Winters. See, I'm telling you, I'm going to mess this up. Ethan Winters. By the way, fun fact, I looked this up. He is the first character in Resident Evil history to get back-to-back games as the main protagonist. Ethan Winters. So he is back. He is with his family. Finally, thinks everything's good. And guess what? Shit blows up. Shit blows up in Europe, guys. And freaking, we see Chris Redfield coming up on him, being like, "Yo, we need your kid." We take some. They get into a car accident. Now he's with all these crazy mofos, and he's fighting werewolves, vampires, and God knows what else. First boss fight was pretty crazy. It was a vampire chick. So far, really loving it. Not as scary. No, not the tall lady. It's one of her daughters. And I'm going to tell you, I'm giving it an 8 right now. 8 out of 10. Put it on the board.
All right, you got it. You did it in 60 seconds. Look at you. All right. Dude, that was like, I mean.
I told you, I probably got his name wrong. It's either Ethan. I think it's Ethan. Is it Ethan Winters?
Ruffhouse's rushed ADD reviews.
Ethan Winters, yes. Ethan Winters, like, not Evan.
You played the guy, and then you fought a vampire chick, and then there's a werewolf, and then you blew shit up. It's like, I like it. We gotta do more of those. You're gonna do that every week now?
Well, no, whenever there's a new game out that I haven't played. Okay. Like, okay, so let's just inside baseball, guys. The reason I wanted to do this was because, one, I love Resident Evil. Everyone knows that it's one of my top franchises. I haven't played enough of the game. I fought one of the bosses, which was one of the daughters. There's 3 daughters, and then there's one, and there's that big chick, which is the one you were thinking of. And so I had just finished that boss fight a little bit before we actually came on, and I was thinking to myself, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I just gave a quick, like, 60-second review, because I basically don't know enough about the game to give it a proper review.
It's perfect.
So I'm giving you what I've done.
It's perfect.
In 60 seconds.
You know what? You know what's great? If we really go far with this, you can always beat everybody else to market, because you can literally just play 2 hours of a game, give a 1-minute review, and put it up before anybody else gets a review up.
So the only problem with that is we don't get games in advance, and a lot of the companies get the game in advance and get to review it.
Yeah.
And they can do, and technically they do spoiler-free reviews, and they'll just be like, this game's got an 8 out of 10 because of X, Y, and Z and graphics and stuff like that. I was just like giving you the synopsis of the beginning of the game in 60 seconds, because that's pretty much what I was able to do. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a laugh out of the fact that I didn't even know the guy's name. But that is, to my knowledge, a fact. I thought about it in my head. There has not been a single protagonist in Resident Evil that have had back-to-back games. Resident Evil 1, Claire and Chris Redfield. No, Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. 2, Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield. 3 was who was 3? I don't remember who 3 was. But I think, I'm serious. Like, who was Resident Evil 3?
I think that was
Jill. Resident Evil 3 was Jill. So Jill came back, but she wasn't in 2. And then you got Resident Evil 4, Leon Kennedy again. Then you had Resident Evil 5, Chris Redfield.
I remember Chris Redfield. That's the one that sticks out the most in my head. I don't know why.
Resident Evil 6. I don't know Resident Evil 6 if the straight protagonist, Leon Kennedy, Resident Evil 6. And then in Resident Evil 7, you had Ethan Winters, and now you have Ethan Winters again in Resident Evil 8. First game within the series, they could have made like a sub game that had the same person, like, you know how they made like Biohazard, Revelations and stuff like that. That's possible, but as far as the number of games go, the actual protagonist character that you play in the game, they have not been in back-to-back. And let me also say this, even though we're past the 60 seconds, that dude, and I should have said this in the review, but I didn't. That dude gets fucked up at the beginning of these games.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for this dude. Like, did you play 7?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're
So
talking
do you
about.
remember getting his hand cut off?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let me just tell you, within the first 10 minutes of this game, something happens to his hand again. I won't give it away.
Wow.
But this
Spoiler
dude
alert.
has fucking problems with his hands. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's carpal tunnel, right?
Well, worse than carpal tunnel. I'll take carpal tunnel over what happens to him. And you're like, and it's like a what the fuck moment. You're like, seriously? And if you remember 7, because I remember, I'm like, didn't he get his fucking hand cut off in Resident Evil 7 and then they put it back on him? And then I'm like, holy shit, this just happened to his hand again? What the fuck? But it did get cut off this time. So it's not actually the same thing.
Oh,
not
man.
the same thing.
Well,
but it's not pretty either.
Hopefully we get some more Ruffhouse Rush reviews because I liked that.
That one.
I'm gonna clip that.
I like I told you, introduction. I want to see that timer.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put the timer on. I'll put your score up there too.
Nice.
All right.
It was an 8.
Yeah, I gotcha. So we got now ending off the episode as per usual with some of the video game releases that are coming out in the next week. See if you guys want to pick any of these up. First and foremost, we got Hood, Outlaws, and Legends for PC, PS5, Xbox X, PS4, and Xbox One on the 10th. This is...
we released this cast.
This is... Yeah, yep. Because we're recording this on Saturday right now. The character kind of looks like Assassin's Creed on the cover. It's an action adventure RPG.
He's got a hood on, that's why.
Well, yeah, he's got a hood, hence the name. It's PvPvE.
Yeah, and I think Epic was doing something for pre-orders with this as well. I don't know exactly what it was, but I remember seeing something from Epic. But unfortunately, that's not going to matter when you listen to this because it'll be out when this drops. So
yeah, it's also $29.99 pre-order. So maybe that's what it is.
I don't remember. I didn't remember what popped up because it goes like real quick. It like pops up on your screen and then it's done.
Then we got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the first DLC for all the systems minus Switch, even Stadia, but no Switch. May 13th, and Wrath of Druids is not the last expansion. It is the first. It's gonna task players with exploring the haunted wilds of Ireland as they go head-to-head against a vicious druidic cult known as the Children of Danu. You can conquer forts, become the best smuggler, gain Gaelic King's illustrious favor. So pretty cool stuff there. An expansion pack. I actually have not played Valhalla. I've played every other Assassin's Creed, but they always add something to it. I'm sure it's a great game. Honestly, I do kind of want to pick it up and play it, but when the hell am I going to find time for that? I don't know. Then we got Famicom Detective Club for Switch. So there's a Switch game on the 14th.
Famicom.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is the second game, apparently, in the Famicom Detective Club series. Didn't even know there was a series for this. As an up-and-coming detective, you find the culprit who took the life of an innocent girl and rattled her high school community. It's basically an anime. It's one of those things where you just like make decisions in the story to go through the story, and it's like an anime. You're making decisions throughout an anime, and there's a girl in a schoolgirl outfit.
Well, maybe it's my next Rush review.
yeah, that's my Rush review. Girl in schoolgirl outfit, 9 out of 10.
Girl in schoolgirl outfit gets kidnapped. You have to detectively find her. 9 out of 10. Great game. Great game.
Mass Effect Legendary Edition. We all know good old Mass Effect. PC, PS4, Xbox One. May 14th is pre-order. Quantum Replica for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on the 14th. That is, so I watched the gameplay of this real quick. It's funny. It gives me kind of like a Metal Gear Solid vibe, believe it or not. It's got a top-down view. It's a little more zoomed out than Metal Gear Solid would be, but you're like stealthily just going around trying to kill people, shoot them, come up from behind them, break their neck, whatever it is. But it's in a cyberpunk setting. Just one of those. It's an indie game by.
That's a birthday game for me. Nice.
Oh, it's on May
14th.
Wait, why does this say? I was gonna say May 31st.
That's May 14th.
So this came out a while ago. It looks like for was it Steam? What's this coming out for? Yeah,
PS4 and Xbox.
So it's coming out for the systems, but it's been out on Steam for a little while. All right, now Subnautica. I have heard this game before. because it's been pretty highly regarded in reviews. Did not actually understand what it was. I just kind of figured something with underwater. So I looked up Subnautica.
Maybe
and I looked
submarines.
I looked up Subnautica and I looked up Subnautica Below Zero. So Subnautica comes out for Switch on May 14th, which I guess it's not on Switch yet. Subnautica Below Zero, which is the sequel, comes out for PS5, Xbox X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on May 14th. This game actually looks incredible just from looking at the gameplay and the video. So Subnautica has like Fortnite type graphics. Whereas Subnautica Below Zero, the next one it looks a little bit more realistic, but it's still cartoony in a sense. Basically it's a survival game. It's an underwater survival game, but it looks like it's very heavily based on the story. And there's a lot of like emotional connection, it looks like, with the characters. So I mean they're basically both survival games. You're underwater, there's big weird looking monsters and shit that try to mess you up the whole time, and but it's gotten really good, overwhelmingly positive reviews on like everything, both of them, Below Zero and the original. So
okay, well, that's a birthday game. Maybe I'll do my rush review on that one.
I mean, go for it. It definitely looks interesting. It definitely looks like a game I'd probably get sucked into.
And it's not expensive, $30 even on the PlayStation 5.
Yep. So that's it, though. That's all the games for this week.
That's all the games, and that's our episode, guys. I did our review in 60 seconds, and we just finished up at 60 minutes. So we just hit the hour. So this is a good episode, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope we can get more people along the way to listen to us. And if you are, once again, 5-star review, positive reviews, like us on YouTube. You know, ring that bell so you know when we're on, all that fun stuff. And, join our Facebook group. We have a Facebook group, believe it or not. And we haven't done a lot in it lately, but we're going to try to get back into things. We've just been very busy with our work lives and everything like that. So it's been difficult, but we will be trying to get back into things, maybe do a giveaway here and there again, because that did work out pretty well the last time we did one. So, guys, thank you again, and we will catch you next time on another edition of Game Wide.
Later, everybody.
Peace out.